Most of it's probably mental. You don't like dark places that are wet and you're claustrophobic. You have a bunch of phobias and stuff. It's not going to be the place for you. This is going to be kind of tricky here.
Holy shit.
Yeah, just slide right there like you're curling. Give me your hand. Here, it'll be easier once you get up here. It's flat. The ice isn't at an angle. It's an old air door here. Don't get too close to the edge or you might step off of there, but.
Oh shit.
What's with all the sound effects?
You have big rubber boots on. I'm never gonna make it up there.
There. I'll break a trail. No, it's not too deep yet. I think it gets deeper though. It's not too far through and then it's dry and then you can change shoes. But this is where you're going to get wet. Uh-oh, we're having a race now.
Anyway, keep warm.
Yeah, it's deeper here.
How much deeper?
Well, not crazy deep. There's some dynamite boxes. Probably deep enough that you walk along the wood. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Whoa. Okay. Oh crap, that's cold. Okay. I lied. It's really cold.
Oh, my boot's full of water. It's deeper here. Well, I guess once your feet are wet, they're wet, right?
Pardon me?
Once your feet are wet, they're wet, right?
Yeah, that's gonna go back to my crotch.
Yep. Oh. Your package will stay dry.
It is not. God darn it.
So it's getting shallower. Oh, here comes Sharon. She's just heading up the last. Duck down just a little bit more. Your bag is catching on that timber. I went as far as I could this way, and then the oxygen monitor started going off. Even the cold water, now it's all partly psychological, you know, I think.
Funny.
As long as your package stayed dry, so. Yeah. There we go, see? Here. Listen. Sounds like a freight train in here.
Water?
Yep.
That's scary.
That's probably where we're going down to. There's not too much. That sounds like a lot of water.
Sounds like a waterfall.
I know. We can go through this room.
Ooh, that
Look at all this stuff in here. There's a little drift rate. That's a lot of water. I'm worried about that.
Me too.
I think that's where we gotta go, is down there.
I don't think so.
Maybe it's going from somewhere else. Now there's not too much water here. There's some. This is where we're going down. We gotta figure out how to rig some ropes to get probably down this part there. The rail is there. Yeah, on the other side. This is where the hoist was and the winch was for the morning decline. This is where the big winch was. Yeah. So then they just had the hoist was here and the winch cable went up there. And that's where the pulley was that run the morning side hoist. There's a big motor, great big huge motor in here. Motor in that. All right, well, let's have a look down the incline. All the ore went up a hoist and they dumped it at the top maybe, and they loaded on the cars here. Yeah, that's how it worked. So we're gonna hook up the ropes here and head down this decline. Put the walk across here. Sounds like there's a huge amount of water here, but there isn't. It's just a little bit of water, but it's hitting a piece of tin down there.
In your opinion, how about another one?
This is where they tied off. Alright, so I can hop down there and give you a hand if you want.
Like, do I get on when you're on?
You know what?
Do I wait till you're at the bottom?
No, I'll just go a little ways down here if you like. And I can help you. You don't have any trouble though. Just try to get over this rail. Actually, it's easier with the feathers than you just walk down the rail. Okay, I'll go down a little ways. I'll flash my light, then you can come down.
Okay.
Sharon's up there making her way down. So that's where we're going. Let me grab this board, I'll throw this board down. Are you warming up? Are you warming up at all?
Yeah.
Okay, should be fine. The knot's right here for the next one. The water, you probably feel a lot more comfortable.
No.
Oh, it's easy going right here. The rails are right close here. Hey, easy. Rub this water tank about 300 feet down the incline, I guess. There we go. So Sharon's making her way down. Alright, so there's Sharon, the fearless mine explorer. It's a pretty tough one, isn't it?
Yeah.
How's it going, Sharon?
A little scary.
It's a little intimidating with all that water running down, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Now we're on ropes and we're safe, so you're dry and warm at least today?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll take our time. I'm so proud of you, girl. You're an awesome wingman.
Yeah.
Okay, there's the first level of Morningside. We're down 400 feet. And we've reached this pocket. I don't know how we're going to get into it. As you can see, you'd have to get across there somehow. We're going to keep going down, but so this is the bottom of the morning decline. It doesn't go any further than this. There I go, there's Sharon up there. So it's flooded. It's solid here. The water's still going through, but yeah, that's it. So not that exciting. We're down 600 feet though, right? There is a level, cross-cut level, and an ore chute going straight down. We can't get to the cross-cut level without a ladder. So, pretty tough. We made it though.
Now we just got the tough climb back up, so there's a lot of water coming down, the rope soaking wet. I found it was easier just using my hands rather than a sender and then going through the crawl. So away we go. We got to pull all the rope back up and it's all soaking wet. So as I'm crawling back up to Sharon, now the water's running down the rope, so the rope is soaking wet and your hands are soaking and everything. So it actually doesn't take very long, and pretty much everything's soaking. So you get tired, you're pulling up. You know, I got the pack I'm pulling up, and here I am starting to hit the debris again. So below this, there's the rail is appearing. There's nothing left. Everything's fallen to the bottom of the shaft. So now it's getting a little bit more hazardous because we've got there's all kinds of wood and stuff in there, and it's all wet and crossed in there. And the big hazard is the rope. You know, see the rope's rubbing all this stuff. There's the 2100 level sign that was there. So the reason they tied the rope to the rail here is it makes the rope really springy otherwise. So you tie it on there so it's not like climbing up a rubber band, so we tied it up on the way up. And as I keep going up, it makes it trickier because then you're having to worry about the rope getting caught somewhere, because as you go up, you want to keep pulling the rope up. That was a big pile of debris that came down, and it's very lucky actually it didn't hit me. It just kind of glanced off me a little bit. Luckily it wasn't too much further up, so it came down and it didn't hurt me. So yeah, if I had been more in the way of it, it wouldn't have been further up, but it could have been really nasty. So it just kind of scared me a little bit, and I kept going. And here is Sharon up there. She's at the station where the big water tank is.
Huh. Look at Can you see what I can see at the bottom? Yeah. So I guess I gotta pull the rope up this way and tie it here and put it in my back.
So Sharon's gonna head to the surface from the 400 level. I've taken a pack with the rope on it, which is a big help because we had like 3 ropes we had to pull down. So it really helps having her along to help pull some of this stuff up. So the way she goes, it's fairly wet. She's gonna make her way back up to the next station, the 200 level. Looking back down from the 400 level, I'm at the water tank, so I got to start coiling the rope up. There's not much room to work, so I just jumped inside this huge water tank and just started coiling all the rope up that was there into the bag. And then Sharon's already on her way up, so then jump in out of the tank and head back up. And I'm going to follow Sharon back up, and I'll meet her up at the 200 level. 200 feet doesn't sound very far down, but you can see that light's actually pretty small going down there, and it's black. And the water's roaring. It's a little intimidating for Sharon, but luckily, she's got her cell phone there, so she's taking some selfies and takes some really good pictures with her camera and stuff. So that's the problem. You got a lot of people, then you're having to wait for each person to come up. So it kind of works out good with just 2 people, because it's cold and wet, and it's not much fun sitting there waiting in the dark for your partner to come up. So the more people, the longer all that takes. So with 2, it's pretty good, eh? So as you can see, I'm a fair ways down, and it takes a while coming up. So I'm carrying the rope from all below there in the pack, eh? So it gets harder as you get further up, and it's slow, and obviously get tired because it's wet and cold, hazardous, and I keep coming up. So Sharon's waiting for me. So nice to have my wingman along on this trip.
Let me see your light. I'll shut it off. No. You want what now? Yeah, I guess you're resting up there. I gotta put the phone on. Yeah, I'll shut that off. I actually need the rope more for coming up than going down.
The other thing that makes this environment pretty challenging is, because it's wet and it's loud, so the communications, are difficult. You have to be pretty close, like a radio or nothing like that doesn't work underground anyhow well. And then you have to be pretty organized what you're doing with stuff, where you're putting it, because you can lose stuff. Anything you drop is going to go shooting down on the bottom of the thing, so kind of have to be pragmatic and kind of plan things out, and you figure out your loads, what you're going to take and what you're going to leave. And so anyway, we didn't really have any problems. We had it all kind of organized. We had a pretty good plan before we went down and kind of stuck to it. And we were able to make it down there and back up safely. So that's what's important at the end of the day. You'll notice as Sharon's going up here, you'll see kind of a flat board between them trucks in some places. And that's where the winch cable, it kind of rides on there when the skip car is going up and down to bring the ore from the lower levels. So it's kind of, you'll see it here in a few spots, and you'll see a flat board where it's wore, and it's the winch cable actually saws right through the ties and stuff. It's kind of neat looking. So Anyway, so we're getting closer to the top, heading back up to the to 0, eh? So we're at the 200 level, going back up the last 200 feet here. Oh, I'm tired.
Just don't lose my foot strap. Mom, grab my foot strap there.
We're almost at the top here, so we can actually follow each other fairly close with the curl. You don't need much slack, right? So here's that board I was talking about. See where it's sawed through there? You can see that's just on the guide to keep it from sawing through the ties. So the cable from the skip car. So I'm coming up here, and this is really cool. I got a surprise. I can't see it on the video, but all of a sudden you see a handle of something sticking out, and I got a little treat or a surprise. Here it is. Hey. Hey, hon. A miner's pickaxe in perfect shape. I couldn't believe it. It didn't want to come out of the mine without a fight there, so, well, I decided to put it to work, and it was a little happier after that. Look at there, finally made it back up to the main hall level with my pickaxe. So I'm just going to show you one more thing here before we go here. So looking up, okay, this is the main hall level, but the incline kept going further up, all the way up in, you can see where those trusses and stuff is. It kept going way up into where the hoist room was. So where that truss is there, I couldn't get any further, but that's where the cart, that's where they tipped down and they went into a ore bin that we saw in the main hall level. So it was kind of cool. I couldn't go up any further, but neat seeing the timbering up there. So, all right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this visit of this mine. It was really cool, quite dangerous actually, and we'll see you next week on another exciting adventure somewhere.